Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, the president and CEO of the Nevada Resort Association, Virginia Valentine, joins us for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Hi, I'm George Harris, and I'm running for Senate in District 8. Nevada fuel prices are under threat. California shutting down another refinery. When they do, Nevada families pay the price at the pump. That's not energy independence, that's dependence. We need to protect Nevada by adding another supply line from Utah, so we're not held hostage by decisions made in Sacramento. More supply means more stability, and more stability means lower prices. Energy independence isn't political, it's practical. I'm George Harris.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We are absolutely delighted to welcome back to the program Virginia Valentine. She's president and CEO of the Nevada Resort Association. I didn't know you started out life as an engineer.
I did, yeah. Well, civil engineering. Well, building bridges, flood control. So started, that's okay, hydrology, hydrologist. I worked at private consulting, and then I started the Clark County Regional Flood Control District. And that was my start, and that's how I went from the private sector to going.
Well, and what an amazing career you have had, running Clark County, running Las Vegas, and now heading up the Resort Association. So, and for those that don't know, the Resort Association is an association of all the major properties, both in Southern Nevada and also further that.
Right, we're a statewide trade association. We have only non-restricted gaming licenses, so it's the big resorts, both north and south. We have international operators, and we have individuals who just operate one property. So we sort of cover the whole range of business models for non-restricted gaming resorts.
All right, so my friend Bill Lerner, who used to be UAM Gaming, now is CDR Rich and Ellis, one of the top gaming analysts of the world, makes a speech the other day at the Orleans, and he says he doesn't see any new properties being built from the ground up in Las Vegas for the next several years. You agree? Do we have enough rooms?
We have a lot of rooms, and I think there will be more rooms built, particularly there'll be expansions. I think, the Hard Rock is still coming out of the ground. So
that's amazing.
It is. I think the Durango may have a hotel tower plan, so you may not see a mega resort, but certainly there are going to be expansions, and particularly as the valley grows and you get more distributed local gaming resorts, I think we'll still continue to see some growth in rooms.
What's been surprising in Northern Nevada? And I guess it shouldn't be because of the amount of businesses that are moving there from California, but the growth of business hotels, and especially business hotels attached to local casinos. Are you seeing that down here as well?
Yeah, I think there have been some more emphasis on the business, and maybe is we've had a really good, really strong convention center business. And I think when you do start to see people and you want to offer more choices, you're seeing some that are offered more geared towards that business traveler. And some of the ones that are the franchise models of the Hilton and the Marriott products. So those are, generally I would say around the 200 room mark. But they're, and they get distributed too. So they're out in neighborhoods and not necessarily concentrated around resort corridors.
I know, but they're great when you have a major event and people can't get into the rooms and on the strip, that there is the availability. You don't have to just go to Mesquite and spend the weekend there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure there's any wrong with Mesquite, but
no, but I'm sure you've landed it like in Reno last time I went there and we stayed Peppermill and we got on like the little shuttle to Peppermill. It was absolutely full of airline personnel. And so they, those, I think you will see that's kind of a business client. Now they aren't going to Peppermill, but they could be going to a Hilton Garden Inn or a Hampton or something like that. So see a lot of those, Bill.
Anthony Carano was on the investors call in the last 3 hours as we're taking this, and talking about the convention business and how strong that's coming back. And that's, of course, exciting news. But what was interesting about that was, if you go back and you can remember this, there were days when Las Vegas didn't want convention business. It was, we want those gamblers coming from California and all up and down the Pacific coast. And, convention business is not something we need or want. Now it's a huge push of what we do here.
It is a huge business, and if you've seen the new convention center experience here in Las Vegas, it's huge. I think they had one of the largest open space, meaning no columns they can bring in. Huge exhibits. Con Expo just wrapped up. I want to say that's like 140 or some thousand people. Huge.
It's not like the 4th largest convention.
I think it's the largest in the down in the Northern Americas. So huge convention. But I think also what you've seen is that maybe what was traditionally someone who came for Comdex or really Con Expo, anything where they may have been just here for the convention now. Now that the resort industry itself is so much more diversified, they're more likely, I think, to stick around for sports game, a sporting event, an entertainment event, some high-end dining experience. So I think we may combine that with other amenities or other attractions that we have to offer. So I do think that's a really important part of the business. It's doing very well.
So, Las Vegas was never a sports town in the old days. And now it's just unbelievable, watching the A Stadium going up and now NBA coming. And what's fascinating to me is that people are actually not building, but planning NBA arenas just in case, which it looks pretty good. Will you say that we are going to need a team here?
On the NBA, I think eventually it's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to be. But yes, I think we'll get one. And I don't know that it's not so much that Las Vegas wasn't always a sports town, as Las Vegas has long wanted to be a sports town, and of course now we are.
Well, yeah, and I guess I'm ignoring the basketball, or UNLV under Tark that was huge for so long. But I mean, that was just an isolated. Well, that and boxing. Well, so I guess I'm arguing with myself about whether we're a sports town or not. But I mean, it's just phenomenal because when you look at broadcast, for example, the biggest things on broadcast television these days are not comedies or dramas, they're live sporting events.
Right, and I think that's really significant because one of the things that we used to hear about why we couldn't have a professional sports team was the media market wasn't big enough, or there weren't enough local fans. But of course now with the way broadcasting works and the way there are many different options for viewing sports, and we had many sports to offer, I think that's completely changed.
It's funny. Jim Rogers, rest his soul, used to talk about Las Vegas as a media market. And he said that even though it was about 98 out of the markets in the country, but it sold like it was in the top 50 because there were so many people here on the weekends that it boosted the size of the town dramatically beyond what the Nielsen ratings would say.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, he was an expert at that. I'm not. Yeah, well,
you and me both, and he certainly made the money from that. So obviously one of the big things that's going on right now are these prediction markets. And I know that you're involved in lawsuits, so there's only so much you can talk about with this. But what can you share because it seems to a lot of us, especially my friend Joe Asher, who was on the program the other day talking about this, that it's gambling. What can you share?
It's very obviously gambling to anybody who knows gambling, and probably nobody knows that better than Joe Asher. But we are, as you mentioned, so a little bit of history first. So the state issued a cease and desist letter to Kalshi. Kalshi, instead of ceasing and desisting, sued the state. The NRA was allowed to intervene in the case, so we are a defendant along with the state. So what I can say about it, obviously we're in litigation, so I can't talk about specific litigation strategies, but what we have and what is publicly available on filings, I think people are becoming, it's nice that people are becoming more aware of prediction markets, because for a long time I don't think people really understood what they are. But it is sports wagering. It looks exactly like betting in the sports book. The differences are that they are not licensed in the state to offer sports betting. They don't have any kind of background investigations or licensing under the Commodities Futures Exchange Commission. They can self-certify what they want to do, so they're basically giving themselves license to do things. They pay no state taxes. They employ no people in the state. They offer gaming to anyone, I think it's 18 or over. They have no responsible gaming requirements. They regulate themselves. And of course, you can bet literally on just about, and I think Kalshi even advertises this, anything, anywhere, anytime. So they call it legal sports betting in all 50 states. And we're saying, no, it's not legal. Gaming isn't even legal in all 50 states. So it is an existential threat for us.
One of the things that in a way concerns me, and I'm sure it concerns the gaming companies, is that, if the federal government is going to be involved, and obviously the federal government isn't already involved, and these companies have all kinds of money. And let me go back for a second. If you remember the fight between the taxi cab industries at Uber and Lyft, the taxi cab companies in the past in Nevada would always win, and they would pretty much win in every state because they had the money, they had the influence. But when Uber and Lyft came in, these were billion-dollar corporations. They had the money to hire the lawyers, they had the money to hire lobbyists. And so I see the same kind of thing with Kalshi and the other companies that are involved. It's not going to be an easy find.
Yeah, they've gotten very big, very fast. They are buying advertising everywhere. So it's a very difficult fight. But I apt to believe that at the end of the day, states want to control their own destiny when it comes to determining if they're going to have legal sports betting in their states. Utah and Hawaii have none. So you're basically saying some group can come in and just step on the state's rights to make that determination. So I think there's some really basic questions here, too, about what states can do and what the federal government's role is. But right now, if you can bet on anything, I mean, if you wanted to bet on a special event in Nevada, you would go to the Game Control Board and you would say, we want to take bets on some special event. And they would want to make sure that there wasn't the opportunity to do anything that looked like inside trading, or that the outcome wasn't rigged or pre-known. So there are a whole lot of things a whole lot of consumer protections that the Gaming Control Board and the whole licensing structure, the whole regulated gaming scheme in Nevada fulfill in terms of consumer protection. And you don't have any of that with prediction markets.
Are you having conversations with your counterpart in, for example, New Jersey?
I have not. I believe, though, that the states are talking, the AGs are talking. I believe the gaming regulators are talking, but I'm not part of those conversations.
Yeah, and the only reason I bring that up is because, along with Nevada, New Jersey has seemed to be the strongest in terms of regulations. And I presume that you think that this is going to end up in the Supreme Court.
That's what the experts are all thinking, so I have to agree with them. But it does look like he's headed to the Supreme Court. We're still at the Ninth Circuit at this point.
So does it become, as you mentioned, a states' rights issue then in the end?
Preemption is one of the big questions, I believe. So, yeah, I think it is a question. Is this something that it falls in the jurisdictions of the CFTC, or is this something that falls in the jurisdictions of state licensing regulators, gaming regulators? So I guess we'll see how that plays out.
Money laundering has obviously been well in the news as an issue in Nevada, and the Game Control Board has put a tight lid on that. And several companies have been hurting financially because of the amount of fines that they've gotten. That seems to be another major issue with these prediction markets.
Right. And so FinCEN is really our federal regulator when it comes to AML laws and requirements. And I think there's exposure there. I don't, other than if you can self-certify and you have a very small CFTC staff and you don't have that kind of regulatory infrastructure or even the kind of regulations we have in the state. And they just, Game Control Board and Gaming Commission under the direction of Chief Director just passed some enhanced AML regulations that I think are going to be really helpful and prevent some possibly what's happened in the past.
Do you see this as a bipartisan issue?
I do. I think you see if you look at the initiatives that congressmen are taking around the country, congressmen and congresswomen, that you're seeing from both parties. You're seeing some initiatives to do something with prediction markets. Now they're all doing things a little bit differently. I think the governor of Utah, in particular, Republican, made some very strong statements about, Utah doesn't allow gaming. We still don't want gaming. We think this is the state's rights issue. So I do think you're seeing from both sides, Democrat and Republican, interest in doing something. Now, it's probably not the same something, but I think there's definitely an interest in doing something with prediction markets because right now there are just no rules for them.
Because it's such a lucrative market all the way around, do you see a time, and again going back to the Uber Lyft taxi cab scenario, that there will be a coming together where the prediction markets will accept regulation because there's just so much money to be made, and the other restrictions that apply? I mean, I remember, and I'm going back 20 odd years now, Gary Loveman was on the program, and he was complaining about having to be licensed in all 50 states, and essentially what a pain that was. I'm paraphrasing here. And after that, Pete Bernhardt was on his show, and he was the head of the Gaming Commission at the time, and his reaction, and for those listening, not watching, I'm shrugging my shoulders, that was his reaction to the complaint. But the bottom line is, if these prediction markets play out the way that they appear to be playing out, that if they were regulated, if they were legitimate, it would just end up being competition for the gaming industry, but that would not necessarily be a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a good thing for the state of Nevada. 34% of the state general fund comes from taxes on trust. Now, it's obviously not all sports betting, but if there was a federal regulatory scheme that preempted the state regulatory scheme, I doubt that the state of Nevada would be getting the same kind of gaming revenue it does right now on sports books. You wouldn't have the same kind of job activity. Even when you see how we have a surge in tourism, even though you can bet on the Super Bowl and other states, during major sporting events, there's an uptick in gaming activity here. So I don't see how there's really a benefit to the states. If this was really truly legal federally, a state like Utah wouldn't be able to say, we don't want gaming in our state. And so I don't really see an upside to the states. Now, prediction markets may change the way that gaming happens, but I don't really see it now, and I'm not the expert. We'll have to see how this plays out, right? I don't see what the upside to a state would be for having a federal scheme. There's an argument that states are better at regulating it. They're already doing it. They're staffed up to do it. They're doing the background investigations. When someone appears before licensing, they have been completely and thoroughly vetted. And so I'm not sure to do that on a federal level, I think would be very difficult.
It would be a huge bureaucracy.
Yeah.
At a huge cost. All right, let's take a break. More with Virginia Valentine when we come back.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Like a traditional handmade basket, Retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Virginia Valentine. She's the president and CEO of the Nevada Resort Association. So Las Vegas may not be building any mega resorts anytime soon. But, we're seeing the North Strip really coming to its own now. How do you see the future here? Is it going to be the MBA or Resorts World, as George Shad suggested?
Well, I'm not sure where the NBA will land. There's a lot of different proposals floating around, so I just really don't want to speculate on where they're going to be located. But the north end of the Strip is doing well, and the festival ground seems to be pretty successful.
Was packed. We got here on Sunday, and this place had 140 checkouts within 2 hours.
Wow. Yeah, the north end of the Strip's doing really well. And that festival ground's a huge nod to the north end of the Strip.
Right, and for those that don't know, is the part that's connected to Circus. And one day, if Phil Ruffin gets his $5 billion, who knows what could be.
Who knows? There's a pretty bunch of blank slate there that could be just about anything.
Oh, phenomenal. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
You'll be rolling with some swag during the $150,000 Spring Bling giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Make it rain with up to $5,000 in cash every week and 20 large in cash guaranteed during the grand finale drawing. We're blinging in your good times at Tamarack Casino.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dogs puppy in training, Cooper.
Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Virginia Valentine. She's the president and CEO of the Nevada Resort Association. I want you to promote, just for a minute here, all the interviews that you have with all these incredible gaming freaks. I love watching those. We post them on Facebook.
Yeah. You talking about the interviews that we have?
People like Tony Mornell, legends of gaming, that nobody else has these oral interviews with them. And they're just wonderful videos. Where can people...
There's some of those interviews around, I think, one of the anniversaries of the NRA. And there are just some amazing figures, and they're all very different, come from very different backgrounds. I think we even did, I think we had one with John Baylor's wife, who was a dancer here, and she's in her 90s now, and it's so phenomenal. So, yeah, it's just, it's one of the things I love about the industry. There's so many really interesting characters.
And are they on the NRA website?
I believe they're still on the website. I could send you the links if you want, but yeah, I think, we don't want to lose that part of our history because we've gone from more individual operators to more corporate people, and the corporate people are equally as interesting. But I think it's really important that we sort of document the history of those individuals who made the industry.
Well, please keep posting them on Facebook and other social media platforms, because people like me,
I see. We should probably do some more of them, because I think it is good to keep up with everybody.
I thank you for being here always.
Thank you, Sam.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Ahern Hotel, where bold ambition meets unforgettable experiences. Feel your game day vibes and celebrate with great food at All American Sports Kitchen, serving amazing flavors and fan favorites. Sip and savor at Aroma Barista Bar. Handcrafted coffee roasted to perfection. Step into the Ahern Live showroom, where concerts, comedy, and unforgettable performances light up the night. We also have the David Yule Art Gallery. It's the only one in the world, and his work is breathtaking. Browse the gift shop. It's a treasure trove of keepsakes, chic essentials, and one-of-a-kind finds. And the space. Almost 30,000 square feet of meetings and events areas ready for you. From weddings and birthdays to quinceañeras, trade shows, banquets, and beauty pageants. Bigger ideas? Let the Ahern team handle all the details so your event is flawless. Ahern Hotel, where moments become memories. Book your next gathering today.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
2025 is bringing big changes for Nevada businesses. If you have more than 5 employees and have been operating for 3 years or more, you must now comply with new state retirement plan mandates. The Vegas Chamber 401k plan makes it easy, offering a proven, customizable, and cost-effective plan for employers and employees to save with tax advantages. Visit vegaschamber.com to explore options and see how the Vegas Chamber can help you start saving for your future.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.